and I talked about this today in Yoga Nidra a little bit, but there's things that I was reading this, I'm reading this book right now called The Things the Buddha Taught. And it's interesting. I don't know what's happening. Sorry, I've got like all these little bejewelly things and I'm tangled and twisted around. But in there, it talks about like the misunderstanding of karma. And I really love the idea of it because it's funny, my first teacher in this world, Glenda, she has a little note like in the little kitchenette area of her building that says, "Dear Karma, I have a list of names that you forgot." And so it's, kind of like, wouldn't that be nice if we could just wave a little magic wand and, do that. But I like this idea so much, and it makes a lot of sense, so I think you guys will understand it, and it goes with our theme for this month. But when we think of karma, it's like we will say, oh, that person did a bad thing, so a bad thing is going to come back to bite them, right? Or, oh, my karma must be so bad because all of these bad things keep happening to me. And so we get into this kind of a false belief that there's a punisher that's like waiting to get you because you did something that wasn't very appealing. And that's not actually correct. When I think of whatever the energy is and the frequency is of the universe and this thing, this energy that kind of holds us together, I really see it being super, super benevolent and loving. I don't see it being anything that's like a taskmaster that's trying to punish us for our wrongdoings, right? You thought a bad thought and now you're going to pay, and whatever the case may be. So if you go back to this idea of cause and effect and you think about that, everything has an opposite to it, right? So if you are somebody who, you're not very honest in things, or you, whatever the case may be, and sometimes it looks like things skip over some people who do bad things, and like, wow, why are they so lucky, or why do they get away with so much? And then the other part is like, well, but there's this idea that, sometimes their astrological charts are just really in their favor, and it just seems like they get away with things because like they've got whatever planet like protecting them or keeping them okay. There's that idea too. But when we do things in our life, there's always going to be an opposite reaction for it. And it just is. And so if you don't like your life, then you need to change whatever thing is bringing that up. So I said this earlier, but I was kind of complaining about something to my girlfriend. She was in town this weekend, and I was listening to myself as I was complaining about it, and I just wanted somebody to smack me because I've said the same thing. And so, hey, Quint, can you shut that music off? So I'm like, I'm saying the same thing. I'm so sick and tired of listening to myself. I could just vomit all over myself. Do you know what I mean? And I know everybody's felt like that, right? And then it's like, okay, so then if that's the case, I need to change, like drastically change something so that I stop complaining incessantly. Because my effect is from this cause of me just staying stuck in the mire, or whatever you want to call it. And so that's not karma. I don't have bad karma. I just get like, I'm not changing my situation at all. So as we think about like this idea, we're doing this witnessing the witnesser thing. This is the last night of this for this month, and then next month we have a lot of things planned for our theme for next month, which is introspection. So it's just really kind of this idea of like, if I'm watching something play out in front of me, I don't have to just sit there and just assume that karma is, slapping me around and giving me a raw deal. I can look at it and say, my choices definitely affect the outcome of how my life is. And that's very empowering, because with that, you can actually change something. You can actually do something about that. The other way, you're a victim to your circumstances. You know what I mean? And bad things happen. And we go through really crappy things sometimes, and they seem unbelievably weighty and sometimes even unfathomable. And then the clouds start to break, and we see a lesson in it, and we see beauty in it. And then the karmic rule that we thought that we were living by before, that it felt like a punishment, actually weirdly transforms and can turn into a blessing. So I'm encouraging you guys to think along those lines, okay? Even in the worst of the worst. And we know that there's everybody who has felt the worst of the worst, okay? So, all right. So on that happy note, we're going to go ahead and do our meditation for tonight. Okay, all right. So we already asked who's never been here. So this meditation is a little bit, I want to say it's advanced. I don't like that term, because then it makes the people feel like they can't do something, or they're not able to, oh, this is going to be too big for me to do. But I just want you to try it, okay? Who's been here at least a couple times this month? 1, 2, so the majority of people. So we're okay. So Paige is like, I'm here every week, whether I want to be or not. No. I'm so happy you're here. So again, just in way of reference, so what we're doing tonight is there's sitting in your meditation. And then there's allowing any thought or any imagery or anything to come up. And then when it comes up, there's the initial thing of us kind of going into the thought and getting lost in the thought, right? And we're kind of like going, and we're in it, and and we don't even know where we're at. And then there's this opportunity where we catch ourselves, and then we kind of like pull back, and then we just are looking at that thought weirdly. And it's almost like you can see yourself like a character on a movie screen, and you're watching it. Is it an argument with somebody? Is it, you petting your cat? Is it like whatever it is, okay? And then there's this moment where all of a sudden you can pull back one more time for your higher self and look at the person that's watching the narrative in front of you. Do you guys understand it? Okay. So this is a really important meditation. Next month, we're going to go back into like kind of nuts and bolts of things, so that we can get really, really clear on how we catch ourselves in these loops. And so again, we've done this one before. I felt really impressed that this was an important one for everybody to try to at least introduce into their field, because this is the goal. This is like one of the main goals in meditation. And so you got to at least like start to sip the water and see what it tastes like. And then you know that there's something to work towards, and there's something to start to get into. Because when you can pull yourself back at that third level, you can look at yourself with this beautiful love that is just pure non-judgment, complete compassion, without any types of conditions or contingencies. And once you get there, and I flicker, my light switch goes on and off on that one. But once you can get to that point, life is much more manageable. You can actually start to make better choices and better decisions in your life. You're not so pulled and tossed around by other people's BS, because then you're like, oh, that's totally 100% yours. I am not in this. I'm not playing in that movie. You can even do it in real life. You can be sitting there and having a disagreement with somebody in real life, and you can like literally like pop out and look at it and just be like, oh, I'm gone. Like, I'm not even going to, like, this isn't going to change my frequency. I'm not going to go into my limbic part of my brain. I'm actually just going to be like, goodbye, thank you, and I'm moving on. It's like, what a beautiful place to be. And that's the goal with everything, right? So that we can start to master those things. So that's why I just want you guys to take a little sip tonight, okay? All right. Okay, so let's all go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Who's never ever meditated? Just Jack. Poor Jack. The poor sweet Jack. Can't remember what happened last week. But he finds his way here. I know. I'm just so happy that you find your way here. That makes me happy. Okay. So again, just kind of really focusing on your posture for your meditation so that we don't have sloppy meditations. Sitting up tall, I do a half lotus with my legs. It helps me to kind of like stay a little bit more balanced, I noticed. Just kind of letting my sits bones sink into my bolster. And then again, my head is kind of straight up, but my chin is tucked a little bit. Chest is strong, but not like puffed out to where I'm uncomfortable. And then you can do chin mudra with your hands if you want to, and palms face up with your thumb and index finger barely touching, or you can do palms face down. It's kind of warm in here, so I like the palms up and receiving energy and airflow kind of cruising past me, things like that. And then go ahead and, if your eyes are not closed, you may close them, and close them softly so that they're not pierced shut. We encourage just this like thin line of light, but don't try to force that either. Maybe that's a distraction. That's okay. And then just check in with your jaw, check in with your tongue, check in with your forehead. Sometimes it's really nice in the beginning of a meditation to take a nice deep breath in and then let it go. That sound is so soothing for everybody's central nervous system, so let's share in that again. Inhale in. It's just like a nice bath of love and relaxation for everybody. So tonight we're going to really put this into practice. And you can just think of one simple situation that hadn't happened earlier today. Don't go too far back. Just stay in today. Even if it's just a memory of somebody's face or getting ready for the morning. It's nice if you can find a place where you had dialogue with another human being. There's an opportunity for you to look at it from a third-party perspective, as if you're watching television or a movie. Now you have another opportunity to imagine yourself looking at that part of you that's watching the movie. Today, I'd like you to try to stand off to the left of that part of you. So you're looking more at the profile. Now, each time you go back into the narrative, or if a new narrative shows up, it's perfectly fine. There's no wrong way to do this. You just change the channel and watch a different scenario rather than interacting with the scenario. There's no dialogue to be had anymore because it's already happened. You're just observing the screen. And then from that higher self perspective, there's no correcting. It's just watching yourself, watching. Now the next step is to just notice how you feel watching that observer. Any emotion or feeling at all. wherever you're at in your practice is perfect. Start coming back into this, in just this space, being really aware of your body. It's nice if you can try to imagine or think about yourself in your seated practice. See what you look like in your mind's eye. And then just envisioning yourself kind of stepping back into your seated position. And then with your imagination and thinking about what the room looks like, with you kind of imagining your space around you. And then just start to become more connected to your breathing again in a deeper way. Start to invite movement in your hands first. And then start to bring in whatever you need in order to bring movement back into the body. And open your eyes last. Okay. So does anybody have anything to share? Yes. Yes, honey, thank you.
I didn't understand what you were talking about until we were doing it. Feeling like I was watching someone watching me made me feel proud of myself or something. I don't know. I was imagining something that happened at work, and my job is dominated by men, so I have to prove myself all the time, and I often look for other people to be proud of me, but then I just realized no one's ever going to be as proud of me as I am, so I should really just stop looking to other people for that, because I'm going to feel it the most. No one's ever going to match that feeling I have for myself. So that was super cool.
I love that. Yay, thank you. Huge win.
Yeah.
Hang on to that. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Anybody else? So I will tell you that I had a really cool experience. I was kind of thinking about something that happened today was reflective of something that happened last week. So my brain kind of did the hop, skip, and a jump to that. And I could see the situation, and then I was able to just see myself there and in this situation, and just watching the observer, my heart just felt so I just felt this this outpouring of love for myself, and again, no judgment, just this feeling of oh, that's so beautiful. And it wasn't a good situation. It was a caca situation. And but then just to feel that feeling of love for myself. So anyway, that's my prayer for everybody, honestly, because even the things that are caca and that we don't like, it's like you can just melt into that, and that's so nice. It's like, yeah, it's exactly right. Nobody's going to be proud of us except for us, and it's so cool when we can do that, become our own best friend. So the last thing that we have coming up for this month is the hiking club. And we are doing a beautiful hike in Seas Canyon, which is near Christopher Creek area. So if you're not familiar with that part of the state, it's like you go up to Payson and then you head east and you go into like Star Valley-ish area, and then Christopher Creek is that way. And it's so pretty over there. I just love it there so much. And so what time what's the meeting plans? And
yes. So I'm sending out a message about this tomorrow, but we're meeting there at 9 a.m. For
okay.
those that want to carpool, plan on meeting here at 7 a.m. Sending out messages to review with people who want to, actually have a car for carpooling, and then who would like to carpool. If you're not signed up for the hiking club text messages, because it is a separate group, but you would like to get included in it, see me after class and I'll add you to it. And then you'll get notified of everything with that.
Mm-hmm. And then when we go into next month for July, we've got some really nice things. I don't know if anybody has been to a kirtan before, but Band of Now is coming for their July performance with us, and I'm so excited about that. I just love kirtan. It is the best, man. You just feel so good. You can ride that high for like 3 days afterwards, huh? It feels so good. And they're amazing. And it's like dirt cheap. I cannot believe that they haven't raised their prices yet. So it's like $20 in advance and $25 at the door. It's crazy. So come, because it's the best. And then there's something else. Christina, she is doing an art show in July as well. And so this is for people to showcase their art. So if you are somebody who dabbles in things and you're like, oh, I just wish somebody would see this sometime, this is a really nice opportunity for you to be able to do that. And then if you are somebody who really would like to kind of get to know what artists are thinking and what they're doing, come, because it's going to be great. She's getting a food truck and it's going to be like a whole thing. So there's that. And I feel like there's one other thing in July and my brain has gone flat and I can't remember what it is. But anyway, the kirtan is and of course the art show, but I don't want to downplay that. But those are the two things that are coming to mind right now. Is there anything else, Paige? You can see I started making the calendar.
There's a goddess circle.
Oh, there's a goddess circle. That's right. There is no archetypal dance in July because the first Friday in July falls on 4th of July. And so we're always closed in the evening on 4th of July. So and she's actually just really excited to have a month off from that too, so because she's really consistent. So but then there is a goddess circle on the 5th, so you can sign up for that as well. So goddess circle on the 5th, kirtan is at the end of the month, and the art show is on the 19th. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and that's all, folks.
When is Band of Now?
Band of Now is, what's the date on that?
26th.
The 26th. Yeah, it's the last Saturday of the month. It's on Moments, so you can sign up now. Yeah, and I do suggest that you guys sign up because once it's full, it's packed, and once it's full, it's full. So we can fit like 50 people in this room, and then that's it. So anyway, okay.
The goddess circle, that's on.
The goddess circle is on the first Saturday of the month, and that's also on Moments. Yep, it's on the website. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And she does a good job for that too. So Amanda, she's one of my Reiki practitioners. She's awesome. So.